It's the RJ Ochoa Show on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. What's going on in Jerry's world? What's the latest from Cowboy Camp? Find out right here, Friday mornings at 7:30 and 9:30 with the manager and editor-in-chief of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Here's Robin Rudy.
It's R&R and R&J all rolled into one here on San Antonio Sports Star. He is Rudy J on the bottom right. I am Rob Thompson. Top right, bottom left. That is RJ Ochoa, A-Z-E on the top left, hidden behind our icon. Welcome, everybody, together on one stream. We're glad to see everyone. Hi, RJ. How are you today?
It's great to be with you guys. Happy week 2. Happy morning after one team got lucky in the NFL. It's great to have football happening all around us. It's the best time of the year.
Absolutely, the best time of the year. We just spoke with head coach Mike McCarthy a few minutes ago.
You said
RJ.
to say hi.
I asked him about Sauce Gardner, and to me, RJ, this game is really simple. You know, if you can find a way to contain the defensive line and, you know, just be smart, not scared, be smart and stay away from Sauce, I think it's an easy win. Why even throw to whatever side he's on? You know, have your quarterback come in, have your receivers come in and tell them if Sauce is lined up in front of you, we're not coming to you. I think it's really that simple.
I think if you're looking for an answer, the answer on why is to be a hero. And Josh Allen probably regrets that as of Monday night. I don't know if you all are aware, but Cowboys fans kind of hate Josh Allen. And it really has nothing to do with Josh himself.
No, it doesn't.
It's just the way that the national media doesn't come for him or doesn't, kind of apply the same heat. And so every Cowboys fan on Monday night was just like, when are they going to talk about it? When are they going to talk about it? And so, yeah, I mean, this is a really weird way to put it, but you just have to not be that. You have to not try too hard. I mean, if the Bills, are recognize that they're driving a Tesla on Monday night, they just kick their feet up and put things in cruise control. They're the team that's probably 1-0 right now. And so, yeah, I don't know that you 100% have to avoid Sauce the entire game because you have no idea the way the game will unfold. But, yeah, I mean, why poke the bear at this point, especially when you're, in all likelihood, going to be up and up by a wide margin?
What's your concern level with the sprain? Keep in mind, that's different from a strain. A sprained MCL for Brandon Cooks.
I mean, probably a 5 out of 10 because you don't love to hear it, and he's a little longer in the tooth than your average player. I mean, but then there's the context of like, well, so it begins, right? Like this is the way it's going to be. And believe me, I am not over my skis. I'm not, wrap this up 2-0, whatever. But on paper, the Cowboys should be able to beat the Jets without Brandon Cooks, and they have Jalen Tolbert, who they can obviously get some more snaps towards in that circumstance. And they obviously travel to face the Cardinals next week. And so, again, you can never overestimate any team in the NFL, but they're fortunate that, instead of playing the Eagles and the Niners these next 2 weeks, they've got the Jets and the Cardinals. And they did kind of take that approach last week. They put Tyler Smith on ice and it worked out. And we'll see if he obviously returns. But I think some measured, some tentative confidence is kind of what you have to apply to this situation.
Do you think Odigizua and Armstrong can continue to take advantage of playing alongside of Micah the way they did versus the Giants? You think this is a trend, or you think that was just like the Giants' offensive line is just that bad?
I think, it's a case where multiple things can be true. Now, I don't mean to say anybody who plays in the same defense as Micah Parsons can eat or whatever, but it's worth mentioning the 4 sacks that the team had in the first half on Sunday night. All came, literally 100% of them came when Micah Parsons was absorbing double teams. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the effect, right? Like that's the ripple effect is you hope and believe that you have enough talent to take advantage of that. And I think we've seen the Cowboys kind of apply that principle to their overall team building. That's why they traded for Stephon Gilmore, because you have enough talent now in terms of your 2 outside corners for whenever one of them is commanding more attention than the other should be able to make some plays. And so, yeah, I mean, Osa Odigizua is somebody who he plays defensive tackle, so it's not a sexy thing unless you're Aaron Donald. But if not for Micah Parsons, Osa would have, I think, challenged for Defensive Rookie of the Year that year in 2021. But it's just impossible to
Wow.
outshine Micah Parsons. And so the Cowboys are fortunate to have a deep bevy of pass rushers.
RJ Ochoa sitting with us for his weekly. What'd you think of the? It's hard to grade the play calling.
No, we're not going there. There was no play calling in that game.
But I was more about the process. What did you think
Right.
of the process? Did you see anything in there that I didn't? Because I felt like this had always been the system they'd use to get plays in.
I found it to be a little bit different. The CD 49-yard gain was a big moment, and it was kind of a pick play a little bit, and the broadcast noted that, and that's kind of new for the Cowboys, right? Like,
Right.
I don't mean to stand here and throw dirt on Kellen Moore, but Kellen's philosophy was sort of born of the Jason Garrett school of thought, in that you just got to go beat your guy. You just got to go be a better football player than your guy on this one snap. Why? Why can't we scheme him open? Why can't we be smart?
Right.
Why can't we be efficient? Like, let's take the low-hanging fruit. So that play by design had CeeDee Lamb open, and did they score a touchdown? No, but they picked up 49 yards. So that was a little bit of a different process in my mind. Zebra technology tracks all sorts of information, and they sent out a newsletter with all of it, and they sent it out yesterday. And there was some, premature, it depends like what, method of evaluation you like the most. PFF tracks this as well, but 2.37 seconds time to throw for Dak Prescott, which was the quickest in the NFL.
Wow.
Which is also an indication of things being different.
But it was raining.
But that's a good fact, though.
How much do we take from that?
That's going to be the way of the world for them this year.
We hope, right?
I would also offer that, at halftime it was 26-0 or almost at halftime, and the Cowboys kept throwing. They kept their foot on the gas. I mean, Mike McCarthy was serious with his carpe omnia, little fancy, Latin phrase. I mean, and that's what it felt like. It felt like show up, take everything, apologize to no one, and celebrate yourselves. I mean, they are a team, on a mission. And I think they showed that on Sunday night. And I think that overall disposition was reflected in the way that they played offense.
Cowboy haters are going to say I'm being biased, but if anybody knows me, I'm never biased toward the Cowboy. But I don't think there's anybody more prepared for the Jets defense. I think they're really holding up a mirror. Generational talents on the line, generational talents at corner, deep at safety. I don't think there's a team, an offense, more prepared to face a Jets defense than the Dallas Cowboys.
I think that is fair, and I think beyond kind of who they get to go up against in practice every day, they have the added benefit of seeing what trying to be a hero looks like in very recent memory. So they have that warning ahead of them. And I mean, look, I think you both agree, in the world of sports, scar tissue is a powerful thing. I mean, Papa Roach is the one who said it. The scars remind us that the pain is real and that it was real. And this is a Cowboys team that has overestimated people and that has thought they were too good and has kind of bought into themselves a little bit throughout this era of dominance that they've had. And they can't do that anymore. I mean, they've all kind of lost together for the most part. And so I think that they're all at a place of, being able and willing to humble themselves and say, look, hey man, we're 1-0 and we won 40-0, but like that win means just as much as the Jets win that they eked out by the skin of their teeth on Monday night. Like, you don't win the Super Bowl, nobody gives you extra credit for blowing out a division rival 40-0. And I think that they're, measured enough in what they've experienced lately to not get in over their skis themselves.
RJ Ochoa is sitting with us. We really haven't talked since the score. I mean, 40-0.
I didn't talk to RJ last week. I was gone last Friday.
But
well, that was also before the game. So,
yeah, right.
That's the way time works.
Don't mess up a good story with that.
This in the of anybody who understands the annals of Cowboy history. Put that game into context. 40-0 pantsing of a division rival to open the season.
To open the season, yeah, there's no context. I mean, it was historical. They blasted them. It was the biggest, win in a season opener in Cowboys franchise history, the biggest loss in a season opener in New York Giants franchise history. I know you guys are deep in analytics and
I love analytics,
like EPA per play. I don't know if you saw this Bill Barnwell stat, but the Giants offensively on Sunday night had an EPA of -23.8. The Denver Broncos in the Kendall Hinton game when they had no quarterback and had to trot him out there during the COVID year, had a negative 23.7. So the Giants were literally worse than a team that operated without a quarterback, an actual like functional professional quarterback. But I mean, Rob, actually, this isn't, I wouldn't say par for the course, but the Cowboys lead the NFL in 40-point games. Mike McCarthy.
Oh my gosh!
No, you're right.
The Cowboys blasted the Vikings last year 40-3. 2 years ago, they blasted the Falcons 43-3. I mean, like, you know, they are capable of just stomping all over a team. Granted, those weren't season openers, and I know that was part of your question, but you can almost at this point set your watch on them having an almost 40-point win in the regular season.
You know, with that, well, go ahead, Rudy.
Well, I've it's been enough love. Okay, now let me flip my bucket hat up and get to the hate. You know, last year, RJ, I heard you Cowboy fans. Oh well, look at look who Philly went through. They beat the sorry ass Giants. Of course, they went to the NFC Championship game. But then when y'all beat them 40-0, now the Giants are a really good team, and we looked impressive, and we should be proud. Like, oh, so last year, just in a matter of months, they went from the sorry ass Giants to, wow, we really put it on a good Giants team. I mean, which one is it?
Well, first of all, I mean, if your game is trying to find a Cowboys fan that said anything, I mean, we can go around in circles forever. I don't know that the rational, you know, average fan is saying that. I do think the Giants are improved versus who they were last year. They've obviously added Darren Waller, Paris Campbell, and Jalen Hyatt, and Bobby Okereke. I mean, so technically they need a better team at least. And what's more is the Giants are really pounding their chest, and a lot of people thought that the Giants, you know, nationally were going to deliver, and so that was a bit of a different vibe. But you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I started here by saying the Eagles got really lucky last night, and I think that they did. It was look, I'm not going to take away from a win, but it was a really hollow 30
sluggish
point outing for the Eagles. You know, it's one of those 30+ point games you don't exactly feel proud of. And you know, but again, the Cowboys just beat the Giants. They have the Aaron Rodgers list Jets coming up. They have the Josh Dobbs led Cardinals next week. They have the Mac Jones Patriots the week after that. Granted, the Eagles did struggle with them last week. We don't know if it's more Eagles or Patriots at this point, but yeah, I mean, and so context is necessary. Context is valuable. I'm not ready to put the Cowboys, you know, in the Hall of Fame or build them a statue or anything like that. But it's not just that they won 40-0. It's that they were 9th in offense by DVOA's measurement. They were 6th in offensive EPA. Like, all of the other deeper statistics support that it was one of the more incredible thrashings, not this sluggish hollow win that we've seen other teams have against low quality opponents.
The last team to shut out its first two opponents to start off the season was the 1945 Cleveland Rams. Ooh, yep. That's a combination I didn't expect was actually a real thing. That probably won't happen. I mean, just by the numbers.
There's a possibility.
But there is a possibility there. Judge this start versus what we've seen in the past. You're my Cowboy historian. And when I see the Cowboys haven't done some things since prior to the Super Bowl years of 95, 96, when I see they have an opportunity they've only allowed fewer than 10 points to the first two games in a season in franchise history since 1965, where they averaged 9 points to start the season. Is this right in your plan for absolute success? I have to ride this wave while we're on it.
I mean, I think the most valuable thing that they achieved last week was that they won a road division game. You get to play 3 of those. They're really precious and valuable, and they've got one, right? They've got one in their pocket already here at week 2. Again, you know, you can win 40-0 and it means nothing. I mean, like, NFL will look very different a month from now, hell, a week from now. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way this thing goes. Nothing carries over. You don't get to roll over these minutes to the next month. But it is pretty rare in terms of modern history. The Rams actually started in Cleveland. I don't know if y'all knew that.
I didn't know that up until this stat.
They moved to LA after that, and it wasn't until they got to LA they put the horn on their helmet. It was Fred Gerke who was the first. That was the first logo.
Oh, Fred!
Helmet.
You're too young to know this stuff.
He baked it on, and then the team charged him $1 a helmet to do that for all of them. So shout out to Fred Gerke. But 1961 was when that happened. Anyway, I mean, It's pretty rare. Everybody equated this, and I didn't take this low-hanging fruit personally, but it was very reminiscent to when the Cowboys put up 35 points on the Giants in Week 1 on primetime in 1995 to open the season. Granted, that was Monday Night Football, not Sunday Night Football. In 2007, the Cowboys played a really kind of back-and-forth barn burner game in Week 1 against the Giants, and they won. And that was kind of the signal that offense was going to be really good, that there was a great team in Cowboys history that obviously disappointed. But yeah, recent history, they don't generally do well in the season opener. Now, if they win on Sunday, they'll be 2-0 for the first time since anybody know when? Anybody have a guess?
Ooh, 2-0. I'm going to go with my guy, Romo.
That is a horrible guess. It was 2019. So it was 4 years ago. They actually started off 3-0. And then they went on a 3-game losing streak, the third of which was against the New York Jets when Sam Darnold returned from mono. Jamal Adams said, how about them Cowboys afterwards? And that team missed the playoffs. So again, they started off 3-0 4 years ago and missed the playoffs, moved on from Jason Garrett. And so, yeah, they get to 2-0, their playoff odds and all these things increase and get better and mount up and whatever. But it can all slip away and an injury can happen. I mean, like it's life. It's crazy. It's unpredictable. So 2-0 would be nice. I've been pushing this narrative. I want them to start off the season Sinatra style. New York, of course. So that's a rare thing. I can't find an instance where that has happened to the Cowboys.
I'm not sure it has.
Hey, well played, RJ. Hey, man, I'm an impatient person, RJ. I'm talking about like wear my brand new shoes out the store, impatient. And considering Dallas played at 7, I know you watched them. They're the only team to me that was as impressive as the Cowboys. Did it scare you a bit watching San Francisco, how they hit the ground running, or do you put Pittsburgh in the same place as the Giants and it's just like, I
believe in Pittsburgh more than the Giants, which is
me too.
Funny given, I don't know if you know their familial history and how they're tied, Rooney, Mara, and everything. So those organizations are tied at the hip too. But yeah, that was really scary. And it was scary because I think it's dumb to say like, oh, the Cowboys offense didn't do anything. Because again, by all measurements, they were incredibly efficient. But what was really frustrating and scary was that the Brock Purdy show kept on. It wasn't like, the defense just dominated or whatever. It's like, man, like they maybe they didn't mess up by trading Trey Lance or abandoning ship or whatever. Like maybe he really is the tried and true real deal, real McCoy. So yeah, that's really, really annoying. And look, the Cowboys and Niners meet in week 5 in Santa Clara. It's on Sunday Night Football. And I would bet the Cowboys will win that game, and it will lead to the like, oh man, they finally, right? Gotten the monkey off their backs, whatever. No, that it means nothing. Like you cannot beat them in October and convince me that this matters. Like it will matter for playoff races and things like that. But like until you beat them in a win or go home situation, they are your daddy, and that's okay. Like we can admit that Dak is the Giants' daddy, he's the Eagles' daddy, but the Niners are the Cowboys' daddy right now.
Apart from them, and I think we can all agree that that's the most frightening team in the NFC. Is there a surprise that you saw this weekend that especially might be on the Cowboys schedule that we might have thought was a pencil-in win that maybe we have to reevaluate?
The Patriots certainly seemed interesting, but after last night, I'm inclined to believe that might have been the Eagles playing a little bit down and kind of inflating their performance a little bit. They're not on the Cowboys schedule, but I tell you what, the Packers looked interesting, and I'm not ready to say like, the Bears have a third daddy. Sorry, Rudy, but
they do.
But Jordan Love looks functional, and I'm ready to give the Packers coaching staff a benefit of the doubt again. So Packers look good. And look, I know the Lions won last week. Missed me with it. It's annoying. Like I realized that I turned into a person that hates when other people like things.
Me too.
So
you're getting old.
Everybody is like all in on this Lions thing, and it's cool and it's fine. I would be fine with it if people weren't beating me over the head with it, but it's just become so annoying at this point.
You know what? Also, RJ, because he's a man of of very few words. Damn, Tony Pollard, he don't look like he had a broken leg. Again, we only got one game sample size, But Emmitt Smith has told us 2 different Super Bowls. It's different when you become the one. It's different. It's different. Well, it didn't look different to me in week 1.
What was interesting was there was the report Sunday morning that the Cowboys wanted to get him somewhere between 16 to 20 touches. He finished the day with, I think, 16 or 18 to 20. He finished with 16, 14 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. By the way, oh no, how are the Cowboys going to score from the goal line without Zeke Elliott? It's impossible. With Tony Pollard had 2 touchdowns from the goal line. What a big surprise that the offense who got down to the goal line was able to punch it in.
Well, they used that battering ram Turpin one time too down there too.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that's what's really exciting is that Turpin got involved offensively. I'll be honest, I didn't believe. Like I've seen the Cowboys do a lot of things in Oxnard,
Right.
and then it not translate. It's been nothing but eye candy before, and so it was really nice to see them kind of live up to that.
Can we bring up one of the eye candy plays that we did see in camp and the possibility of seeing it? Because we saw a play run that involved not only Turpin, but also Deuce Vaughn in what was a pitch that turned into an option with Turpin running quarterback option pitching to Deuce Vaughn. Can we pray that we see that play at some point this season?
Full disclosure of the audience, I didn't see that with my own beautiful brown eyes, but I trust Rudy because he was on the field and the one who described it. So you do have to kind of give him a little bit of trust in order to believe that this is possible. But yeah, I don't see why that's not, within the realm of possibility. But what I really liked about what the Cowboys offense did on Sunday night overall was it wasn't an eye candy thing. It wasn't like, hey, let's do the annexation of Puerto Rico. We're just better than them. Let's go be better than them. Play it and play out. Let's break their wills. Let's destroy their souls. Carpe omnia at all. And it really was just a good old-fashioned asking.
Former Jet, can't wait. Bart Scott, is he just being a Jet fan when he says that he thinks they'll have 200 yards rushing on this Dallas Cowboys defense, or do you think that they could or get close to that?
I didn't even hear Bart Scott say that.
He literally said it right when you were coming on.
I would offer that a week ago, Tiki Barber said he would take Daniel Jones
He
over Dak
did say
Prescott
that.
100 out of 100 times. Look, I have no issue with former players being a homer for their teams and their markets. Like, everybody's got to put food on their table, and everybody's got a career they're trying to build. So I totally understand Bart Scott, and I'm sure that there are, hundreds of Jets fans who believe that that's possible. But okay, Bart, cool, that's great. The Jets haven't been to the playoffs since Bart was on their team, so maybe let's just slow down and chill out a little bit.
100 out of 100
He must still get
times.
free food in New York, RJ. You don't want to pay for a meal in certain cities after you've been there a while. That's probably what it is.
Exactly.
Hey, catch his stuff on Blogging the Boys and all the socials. His name is RJ Ochoa. Use it as you search for him. Hey, man, it's good to see you. Have a good weekend, man. Enjoy everything down there in the Valley.
Thanks a lot, guys. Last week I watched Pulp Fiction for the first time ever.
What?
Overrated.
You can't
can't
just
end
lob
like
that
that.
on your way out.
You can't do that. Red ball in
It
mouths.
was-
Come on.
It was fine, but I think the overrated part, it's really my fault. It just could never live up to the hype. You know what I mean? That I've heard my entire life at this point. So it was never gonna live up to that. It was fine, and I've seen other Quentin Tarantino movies, so I've already kind of gotten the effect.
You know what he is.
But I'm trying to knock out classics that I haven't seen, like holes in pop culture. I've never seen Goodfellas, so I'm thinking about that being next.
You chose the wrong movie first, though.
Bye week, I need you to get Goodfellas in.
Yeah,
during
get
the bye
Goodfellas
week.
in.
I know you're busy, but you got to get Goodfellas in during the bye week.
And we expect to see a GIMP mask on the shelf behind you next week. He is RJ
I like
Ochoa.
that T-shirt, RJ.
He is Blogging the Boys. He's a Rock the Mic champ. Hey, man, take care. We'll talk to you next week.
Love you, RJ.
O'Doyle rules. Later.